Today is yoga for strength. So we're going to do a lot of core work today, particularly on the oblique muscles. So a lot of staying really focused in on the core muscles and remembering that the core muscles, our stabilizer muscles, are not just our stomach muscles but also the muscles in the back. So we are going to do some face down work on the back and think about the muscles that help us move and strengthen. So we're going to start down on our backs. So just take a moment to land on the mat. Feel your shoulders, feel your hips. Maybe bringing your feet down, knees up, to just give that back area, the glute area, the hamstring area, a little softness. And take a few breaths just noticing what is present. So starting to have a physical practice, noticing sensations in the physical body. Having an experience within the physical body. And that begins with scanning and noticing at rest what's present. So maybe wiggle the toes, feel the feet. Take a little sway of the knees. Feel what's present in the physical body before you begin. And take a few grounding breaths. So grounding, bringing in, drawing in nice and slow, and maybe sighing out of the mouth, helping you just really land in present moment. And check in on the muscles of the face, the jaw, the neck, shoulders. And then we'll begin moving and breathing. So bringing the feet a comfortable distance from the hips, knees up. We're going to start to plant our feet. Inhale as we lift our hips up off the ground, and exhale as we lower. So try to keep your rib cage on the ground for this and connecting with the stomach muscles to pull up, as well as the glutes in the back of the legs. Inhale as you lift, exhale as you lower. Starting to just move and flow with the breath, helping you really land in an experience in the physical body. So whenever the mind pulls us off our mat, we can just gently return our focus to whichever muscle group we're trying to look at. The practice of drawing our focus to one thing. And when your mind does distract you, notice what happens to your breath. Do you begin to hold your breath? Do you begin to move a little faster? Maybe breathe only into the chest. Notice. And then bring the hips up to a comfortable position. So not so that you're straining, but so that you can hold and be fully engaged. Hold here and engage, and notice what's happening in the neck and shoulders. Make sure you're soft in the neck and you're not compensating elsewhere in the body. Pick up the toes. See if you can activate the feet. Spread the toes wide. See if you can hold a comfortable breath while engaging all of the muscles of the backs of the legs. Maybe even pick up the balls of the feet and feel like you're pressing through the heels of the feet. And you're going to take a little tiny hip movement. So this is a movement from the hip. We're going to tilt the hips to the right, back to center, and then tilt the hips to the left. It's a teeny movement, trying to remain fully engaged in the legs. So you're just going to start to feel this in the back of the legs if you're really engaging to stay stable. And then slowly lower the hips. Take a little sway of the knees. Let your legs soften, your hips soften. And then take the feet up to the ceiling, spread the toes, start to take little ankle circles, nice and slow, just feeling your feet. Mindful of what's going on in the low back. So if you feel any kinks in the low back, a little engagement in front of the hips, pushing the hips down. And then we'll start to draw in some warmth into the core muscles. So press the hips down with the stomach muscles first. Press the rib cage down. Start to fire up. Really bringing some strength into the core. We're going to inhale as we lower the right leg towards the ground. Exhale as we draw it back up. Inhale as we lower the left. And exhale as we draw it up. All of this heat should be coming into the core muscles. If you notice lots of clinging and gripping or even pain in the low back, don't move your feet so close to the ground and draw all of the attention back into the stomach. Trying to keep the hips nice and stable on the ground. Complete a full round and then bring your knees in towards the chest. Give yourself a little hug. And then take your knees in circles. So take your knees out wide and then back in towards each other. Thinking it's about just feeling the hips and what is going on in the hips. And then reverse your circles. The knees back in. Take your feet to the ceiling. Happy baby. Options for happy baby. You can hold your shins. You can reach for outer edges of the feet. You can hold static, pressing your hands into your feet into your hands, or you can take little sways like a happy baby. Notice what is present in this pose early on in practice. Soften the neck. Soften the face. And then keeping a hold of the right foot, slowly lower the left leg down to the ground, straight leg. Maybe even placing your hand on top of that left thigh. And just checking in, noticing what is present on the right side, on the left side. Slowly return the left leg and lower the right. And then knees back in towards the chest. Roll on over to a side and make your way to a tabletop. Moving and breathing in tabletop. So inhale forward, exhale towards child's pose. Moving with the breath. And noticing what is present. Come on up to a neutral tabletop. Get comfortable in your tabletop and watch for buckling in joints. So hanging out in the shoulders, your chest just hanging between your shoulders. Try to have a little engagement in the chest, engagement in the arms. Take the right leg out even with the hip nice and long. Imagine you're going to use the heel to make a tiny circle. So little tiny slow circle, trying not to move anything but the leg. Try to keep the whole leg engaged. And then switch the direction. Notice what's going on with your breath as you concentrate. And then leg long, inhale, exhale, draw the knee in towards the chest. Trying not to move through the chest, through the back. We're just taking this through the leg right now. So long leg, inhale. Exhale, draw it in. Try to stay engaged. Strong leg, find the muscles. And then inhale long, draw the knee towards the elbow. So up and out rather than in towards the chest. Inhale long, exhale in, trying to remain stable in the rest of the body. Feeling the leg and the hip and the glutes. And then take the leg long, lower the toes, press through the heel, either static or little pulses. Lower the right knee, set up, strong base, active chest, long left leg, little circles through the heel. So imagine drawing the circles with the heel. And then reverse the direction. Inhale long, exhale knee towards chest, all in the leg, not in the back this time. See if you can feel the muscles of your foot. And then inhale long, exhale, draw the knee over and around towards the shoulder. Take the leg long, lower the toes, press through the heel, static or pulses. Lower the left knee and make your way to a down dog, warming up your down dog in whichever way feels right for you today. And then find the stillness in down dog. Connect with your head below your heart. We're going to start to slowly move with our breath. So take an inhale. With the exhale, you're going to step the right foot towards the right hand, left foot towards the left hand. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, lower down. Step back, right foot, left foot, down dog. Take a breath. Other side. Take an inhale. Exhale, left foot, left hand, right foot, right hand. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, lower. Breathe. And then step back, down dog. Take a breath. Start to think about really being present in the muscles. So when we press through to stand up, can you press through the backs of your legs, fully engaging the legs and the glutes and even the stomach. Take an inhale. With the exhale, step forward, right foot, left foot. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale. Exhale, down dog. Take an inhale. Exhale, left foot forward, right foot forward. Inhale, rise. Exhale, back. Inhale, pause. Exhale, down dog. And then bend the knees. Look towards the hands. Maybe hop or float or just step up Feet underneath hips. So forward fold, little bend in the knees, allow the torso to come towards the thighs and take the tension out of the neck. Pressing through the heels, hands on thighs, slowly come up to a flat back. Find a flat back position you can hold so you're engaged through the torso and the muscles of the back. From here, we're going to take little movements. So take the arms out, even with the shoulders. And we're going to inhale as we lift the shoulders. Exhale as we lower them back to neutral. It's a small movement. If this is super difficult, bend the knees a little more. Try to do this through the back, and it's going to help if you feel like you're pressing down through your heels and really locking your feet so they can't move. And then lower down, forward fold. Let go. And with a deep bend in the knees, rise up as we inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, prayer to heart. Hold your prayer at heart. Take a check in. Wiggle the toes, soften around the knees and ankles. Soften the low back, shoulders, and face. Now we're going to move and breathe into baby chair. So inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, prayer to heart as you sink and lower your hips. Inhale up. Exhale, lower. Options to stay simple, or if you'd like to challenge your balance, start to lift the heels as you inhale. Lower and sink the hips. Watch for locking of the knees as you try to balance. Watch for pushing the hips forward. Try to keep engaged all through the legs and through the core and stabilizer muscles. And then sink it down to a chair. Engage. And take a check-in on your chair. Are you feeling this in your back? And rather than focusing on the low back, see if your rib cage is pointing out. Pull it in. Engage the muscles on the side of the torso. See if you can still keep that natural curve of your back, and then maybe lower your hips a little more. As you lower, watch for gripping in the toes. Watch for gripping in the face. Breathe and hold. And then inhale back to mountain pose. Exhale, forward fold. Step back, high plank. Lower the knees, tabletop. And we're going to move in our tabletop, challenging our balance and trying to stay engaged. So watch for sinking into the shoulders. Watch for movement too much and not stable through the shoulders. Try to engage the chest. Really strong. Left arm up, right leg back. Breathe and balance. And then we're going to inhale in this position. Exhale as we bring the left arm to the left shoulder, even with the left shoulder, and right leg towards the right hand. So inhale long. Exhale, pull and squeeze. Noticing what happens to your breath. And then lower the left hand and right leg. Take the hips all the way over to the right side, funky child. Breathe. If you like, you can wiggle the hands a little bit more over to the left, feeling a little bit more lengthening on the right side body. And then back to a neutral tabletop. Set up so that you're nice and strong first. And then we're going to take left leg back, right arm up. Hold and balance. Really engage through the chest so you're pulling all your body weight up out of the wrist. Inhale long, exhale, left leg towards left hand, right arm towards even with the shoulder. Lower the leg and the hand and take the hips over to the left side, funky child's. Breathe. And then slowly through neutral tabletop all the way to crocodile. So stomach down, one hand on top of the other, forehead down. Shimmy the hips and let go. And then start to have an experience of engaging the muscles of the whole back without moving. So imagining we're pressing the tops of the feet into the ground. See if you can squeeze the backs of the legs, the glutes. And then see if you can imagine engaging your back without lifting anything. So what can you connect to? What can you engage in your back? Have an experience. See if you can connect that mind-body connection to all the muscle groups along the back. Take a deep breath in while squeezing, and with an exhale, see if you can release everything suddenly to the ground. See if you can let your rib cage feel a little heavier, your shoulders feel a little heavier. And then we'll move and breathe with the muscles at the back. So hands wherever comfortable for balance. Think about lifting shoulders, not the head. Inhale as you lift. Exhale as you lower. Trying to find that connection of all the muscles across the back. Trying not to yank into the neck and pull the head. And rather than a big arch, think about lifting and getting long from the tailbone to the crown of the head, making space for your back. And as you're ready, maybe starting to lift the fingertips and engage the arms, and maybe even lifting the feet. And then find a comfortable position you can lift and hover. Maybe that means you need to keep your fingertips down or your feet down. But find the place where you can easily breathe. You can easily hold and hover, and yet you feel that connection and engagement in your back. We're going to inhale, center. Exhale, take the shoulder towards a hip. So small, tiny movement, trying to find those muscles in the side body. Inhale, center. Exhale, shoulder towards hip. Tiny movement. Trying not to exaggerate the movement, but trying to connect to the muscle group that makes these movements happen in our body. And then wherever you're at, slowly lower back to crocodile. This time really shimmy. And see what you can loosen and soften. And really doing a body scan, noticing how your muscles feel from the first time that we took this pose. What is different? Slowly draw the left knee towards the left shoulder. So nice bend in the knee, bend in the foot. And then we're going to press the heel down into the ground and pull the knee up off the ground. So knee will not move very far if you can even lift it at all. What we're looking for is engagement through the left glute. So see if you can lift and off, pulse on and off, and then watch for what happens in the body. So as you have this desire to lift the knee, do you start to lean onto this right hip and start to pull up with other muscles? See if you can just find the connection to the glute space on the left side. Squeeze and lift. Notice if any muscles like your neck muscles are starting to engage. Notice if you're squeezing your face as you concentrate and try to do a movement that's a little unusual. And then slowly return the left leg and go on to the right side. So right knee draws up towards the right shoulder. Press the heel into the ground. See if you can lift the knee. Pulse on, pulse off. Again, doing that check-in, looking for what happens in your body when your mind tells your body to do something that's not your regular shape and movement. And then slide the right leg back, bring both heels to the ceiling and take a little sway. Let go. Slowly make your way back to a child's pose. Take a little reset. Find your breath. And then we're going to move into a challenge. So floating planks. So if you are not super strong in your planks, and most especially your side planks, options here. Returning to that airplane movement, inhale, exhale, bring arm to shoulder, right leg towards right hip, wrist. So moving that opposite movement. Another option is to move into baby half moon. So baby half moon, the knee lines up with the hand. You can lift this leg. You can hold here, using your oblique muscles to pull yourself up out of the right wrist. I'm on my right side right now. So holding here and challenging yourself in baby half moon. Or if you're ready for floating plank challenges, we're going to come up to plank. So set up in your plank and be strong and safe first. So things to watch for. If you cannot hold your plank for a long time without this happening in your shoulders, you're not ready. So pay attention to your body. Hold your plank. If you can hold a plank with steady breath. We're going to lift left hand, right leg, nice and slow, and float. Slowly lower. Other side, right arm, left leg, float. Slowly lower. Other side, left arm, right leg. And then see if you can bend the right knee and bring it all the way through, land inside plank. Pull up. Core engaged, so really pulling through that side body to lift the hips. Slow as you can with control. Return to your floating plank. And then back down. Lower the knees, child's pose. Take a little break. Notice left and right sides. And switch sides back to our floating plank. So again, moving into our tabletop, if that's where you're at. Bring it up, hold your plank. Nice and strong. Slowly lift right arm, left leg. Hold and breathe. Bend the left knee. Slowly pull the left leg through and make your way to side plank. Float, pull the hips up. Slowly return to floating plank. And then back, tabletop, and down dog. And oftentimes people refer to down dog as a resting pose. And sometimes it is. So find this rest. Do a little bit of activation, pulling yourself up out of your wrists, but a lot of letting go through the crown of the head, resting, finding your breath. Bend the knees, look towards the hands, and either jump or float up. Forward fold. Inhale, rise up, arms overhead. Exhale, prayer to heart. And we're going to step wide. So goddess feet. So find your goddess feet. Slowly lower the hips. So again, look for those things that happen in goddess pose in your own body. So sometimes there's cramping in the low back and people compensate by tilting the pelvis. So rather than thinking about the pelvis and the low back, notice what's happening with the ribs. Are they sprayed up? Maybe bring the ribs in, take some of the pressure off that lower back. Maybe you need to assess what's happening in the inner thighs. So maybe feel like you're pulling the knees apart with the inner thighs and stabilizing with the outer thighs. Find your goddess that you can hold with a steady breath. We're going to inhale, center, arms up. Exhale, take the torso over. Inhale, center. Exhale, torso over. So if your arms and shoulders are tired, you can take your arms out of this and just think about moving the shoulders left and right. And even bring your hands to your legs and just think about engaging the side body and moving with our breath. And then bring it back to center. Turn your feet in a little. Give your legs a shake. And we're going to go back to strengthening the back. So slowly lower the torso till it's even with the hips. Things to watch for. Don't lock the knees. So engage the legs as if you're pulling them apart while keeping them still on the mat. So really strong legs. Hold. Long torso, so lots of engagement in the back. It's going to be easier if you keep your hands on your hips. It's going to be a little more challenging if you take your hands out, make your torso heavier. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist. So watch for this movement coming from places other than the torso in the back. So don't take it into the hips, moving through the hips. We're just trying to work through the torso here. So we're taking left shoulder towards right leg, and then right shoulder towards left. Bring it back to neutral, soft bend in the legs, and come on up, shake out the legs. Turn your feet back for goddess pose. See how this feels? Find that comfortable position. So you're really strong, but you're not holding your breath, you're not overly stressed. And you're not doing number one, which is no effort at all and just hanging out in the joints. Strong legs, Feel strong in this pose. We're going to peel up one heel at a time, trying to only move the legs. So think about really engaging the muscles of the legs and moving slow up and slow down. And you can stay with this, or if you'd like, we're going to pull the right heel up and pull the right heel in. So you're going to pull from the muscle of the inner thigh. So pull it in, forward, up, forward. It's a small movement. You're going to move a little bit on the ball of the foot, but you're trying to find those inner thigh muscles. Moving left to right, one heel up at a time. Lift and pull. And then back to start. Just turn the feet in, shake the legs out. And then we're making our way down to yogi squat. So take it slow, grab your block if you need it. So block can be under the hips. It can be something that you place your fingertips on as you come down. So nice and slow, start to work your way down. Slow, feel your hips as you go. And then slowly come to the point where you can hold comfortably. So holding comfortably, what does that mean? It means that your legs are engaged. So I can hang out down here without any engagement or focus or body knowledge. But up here, I'm super strong. I'm pulling my thighs strong. I'm pulling my hips strong. I'm activating my glutes. And when I'm focused, I can balance. Breathe. If you need, just lower the hips onto the block and try to retain that same engagement. Pulling the thighs open with the muscles. Engage. Hold. See if you can get longer, longer, longer in the spine while retaining the strength in your legs. And then slowly lower to a seat. So take a second to get to your seat. Notice what is present. And all the hard work and challenge is over. Now comes the juicy stuff. So bring your feet together and bring yourself to a comfortable position in your hips and spine. Some people may need to lean back. Press your feet together and then pull your knees down with the muscles of your legs. And you can either take it side to side, pulling one knee over at a time, or if you just like hanging out here, pulling both legs down and keeping it static. Find your breath. Feel your inner thighs. And then come on up to a neutral spine. If you have a block, this may be handy. You might put your right hand on the block. You're going to put your right leg down wherever it's comfortable, either in an easy seat position or out long. We're going to lift the left leg. So we're just going to use the right block to lean onto, just to give ourselves room to move the knee, but we're not going to be moving through the lower back. So a little bit of attention that you're not pulling this hip off the ground. Lift the left leg, and we're going to pull the knee over towards center and then out. So we're feeling the leg a little, feeling the muscles of the leg. So as you pull the knee center, experiment with pulling the heel out towards the outside. Just kind of feeling how the muscles feel. And then take the left leg long, come up tall with the torso, turn and look at the leg, little softness in the knee, so not pushing that knee down. If you're looking to engage more, Think about push the heel down and push the ball of the foot away from you. Get really long in the torso, so reach that right arm up and then take it down towards the leg. Wherever it lands, maybe it lands on the shin, maybe you can get a little further. Once you get some connection, experiment with pushing the hand into the leg into the hand, and giving a little more space in underneath the rib cage on the right side. Rest the neck. So find a comfortable position for your head. Take the tension out of your neck. Slowly come on up. Bend the left leg and get it just to a comfortable position, wherever that is for your own body shape. A little bit of something to lean on the left side. Right leg comes up, the hip remains on the ground. Knee up, turn the knee in and turn the knee out. Notice differences on either side. So mine hardly moves on this side. So as you turn the knee in, turn the knee out, you're pulling the heel in, and as you turn the knee in, you're pulling the heel out. Just feeling the muscles of the leg. Noticing if you have some kind of goal, if you start to do movements like this because you think it should look a certain way, and just try to connect with having an experience with the muscles of the leg. These are the muscles that stabilize movement, the inner thigh, the inner leg, the outer leg. And then take the right leg long. Get up really tall. So make sure your sits bones are on the ground. Torso's nice and long first. Left arm up and then over until it connects with something. Foot, shin, thigh, whatever it connects with. Once it's connected, push the hand into the leg into the hand, so you have those opposing forces to work with. And feel a little lengthening in underneath left rib cage. Watch for tension in the neck. Breathe. And bring it up. Neutral. Feet can be crisscrossed, or you can take your legs out a little bit into a V shape, whatever is more comfortable. You get long in the torso and think about side to side movement. So reaching right arm up, reaching right body long. Watch for just collapsing in. So we want to go up and long and really feel the stretch by pushing down into the hip and drawing that rib cage up. And then switch sides nice and slow. See if you can go up more than over. So really, really finding length on that left side body. Watching for tension in the neck. Breathe. And then move with your breath. So inhale, center. Exhale, over to a side. Inhale, center. See if you can keep that same mind-body connection. Feeling the side rib cage. Opening up, connecting. Land on the right side. So hand down, watch for sinking down. You're engaged. Land. Reach left arm long. Inhale, exhale, draw the elbow down. So we're just working through the shoulder. Inhale up. Exhale, draw down. So I'm thinking about not super strong, but just making space through this left shoulder. Watch for tension in the neck. And then come back to neutral. Slowly lower to left. Inhale long. Draw the elbow back with the exhale. Thinking about opening up that shoulder, feeling the shoulder. Back to neutral, and then slowly make your way down to your back. So take it slow. Land on your back, ground down. So feel your hips, feel your back. Start to notice what feels different than when we started. Maybe it's just muscular today. Maybe your thoughts, the pattern of your thoughts feel a little different. And notice if you're like cursing out the yoga teacher and you're so over this practice today, that's a change in thoughts too. There are no right or wrong answers, just noticing. And then bring the knees in towards the chest, feet to the ceiling. Find your happy baby. And as we started practice in this pose, check in. What feels different? Maybe your hips feel a little more tired. Maybe they feel a little more open. Holding on to the right leg, half happy baby, left side. So lower the left leg to the ground. Notice. Slowly switch sides. And notice. And then right leg back, both feet to the ceiling. Take slow ankle circles, wiggle the toes. Just experience feet above the heart. And notice. So we've slowed down. Can you still stay present in the physical body? What does it feel like when you wiggle your toes? And if you have a hard time feeling sensation in the toes and the feet, look at them. Help your brain know what you're supposed to be focusing on right now. Maybe moving through pointing and flexing the feet. Slow, having an experience, feeling the muscles. And then bend the knees and slowly lower the feet to the ground, knees up. Take a little sway. And then we're going to do a little somatic reset before we go into our resting pose. So 2 ways you can do this somatic reset. Somatic shaking, think about jelly in a bowl, how it wobbles. That's the kind of somatic movement you want to happen in your muscles. So there are 2 ways we can do this one. We can push the weight left to right through our feet and let our muscles wobble left to right. So it's not a push. We use the idea of push. It's not a muscular effort. It's just a moving of your weight. So move your weight left to right. And if that one doesn't work for you, tiny lift of the hips. So tiny lift and lower of the hips. And that drop of the hips will get that somatic shake through the legs and the hips. Little tiny movement. Notice any emotions that come up whenever we do somatic movements. So just notice. Sometimes you might stir up a giggle. Sometimes you might stir up some tears. And you don't need to know why. Sometimes the body stores emotions, and then we don't need to know what the emotion is, what the memory is. Just allow it to be felt and let it flow. So really shake it up. Loosen, 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 and soften as much as you can. Notice any tension that's forming anywhere else in the body, in the face, in the neck. Try to soften the hands. And then take a deep breath in, and with the exhale, let the body land wherever it lands. Notice. Bring all of the awareness to the palms of your hands. Imagine that you have 2 healing balls of energy in each hand, one in each hand. They can be warm or they can be cooling. Some people connect more to a cooling energy being a healing energy, particularly if you have lots of inflammation. So really connect with these balls in your hands. And then without thinking about it, almost as if you're giving a little prayer or a little blessing to your body's intuition, allow your hands to land on your body wherever they might need a little healing and protection without thinking about it, without cognitive effort, and then just have a sensation. How do your hands feel on your body? Without answering in words, finding sensation where your hands are connected. Imagine the feeling of your hands wherever they are in your body are giving the sensation of a little healing, a little compassion, perhaps a little more softness to wherever they landed. And then take an assessment of your body. So notice any tension in your body. Maybe you are already in the position you wish to be in for your resting pose. If you did land knees wide, I do advise you take a block or something in underneath the knees just to prop yourself up a little bit above your final extension. So start to land in where you need to be for your own resting pose. So with all of these pictures on Instagram and these wonderful feats of strength, how to word this? It is not that these are wrong. Performing feats of strength give us a challenge, give us something, a goal to set for ourselves, and we learn on the journey of setting a goal. There's so much to learn. What if I twist a muscle this way? What if I strengthen this way? There's so much you can learn. What if I can't ever get to that pose? What does that inner dialogue of not getting there tell me? There's so many reasons to perform these challenging poses. But sometimes the actual hardest pose in yoga is the one where we are asked to be still. And oftentimes that is where the union of mind, body, and soul is most likely to happen, because we're asked to be still and we have no choice but to be aware of our own mind, our own thoughts, our own emotional state. So as you're starting to rest into your resting pose, can you notice where the mind has gone? So the practice is not to completely control the mind and be master of our own thoughts. The practice is to notice the patterns of our own mind. Get familiar with the patterns of our own mind so we are less disturbed by the constant movements of our own mind. And the practice is to gently notice your thoughts and then draw your focus into something else a little deeper. It can be your breath. There are so many ways to draw your focus to one point. It can be your breath. It can be a certain muscle group. It can be looking for your own heart. Today we're going to practice just looking for physical sensation. So bring all of your awareness down to your feet. And just see how long you can feel all the parts of your feet, your toes, the insteps of your feet, the skin on your feet. What can you feel in your feet? Where can you find sensation? And how long can you keep your focus entirely on just your feet? And rather than beating yourself up when your mind draws you away, just noticing that, oh, there it goes again, and starting over. And then draw your awareness to your hips. So what can you feel in the joint of your hips, across the front of your hips, across your glutes and low back, the whole space? What can you feel? What can you notice? What sensations can you find here? And though I'm asking kind of cognitive questions to guide you, can you not answer them cognitively? Can you just draw your awareness right down to that body part and feel something, anything? Feel what is present here. And then draw your awareness to the shoulders, the joints of the shoulders, across the front of the chest, across the upper back, across the top of the shoulders, and maybe even a little bit of awareness coming up into the neck. What can you feel here? And then bring your awareness to the top of your spine, where your spine meets your skull. If you think about it anatomically, think about how small this connection is, your bones of your spine connecting to this big heavy bone of your skull. And then think about all the complicated muscles that support this structure. How much sensation can you find in this space? Can you find sensation right in the back of the skull, into the muscles around the jaw? Can you find sensation behind each ear? And then gently see if you can draw your sensation, imagining from the point of just behind each ear, kind of that meeting point of upper and lower jaw. And then see if you can find the meeting point of these 2 points, the center. So draw your awareness from each ear into the middle. And what rests here? What can you find here? If you have the time to practice resting here, gently drawing your focus back to this center point and whatever is sensation that you can find here. Maybe there's a visual Maybe there's something you can imagine here. And gently drawing your focus back whenever your mind wanders off the mat into yesterday, into tomorrow, into somewhere else in the body. Notice when you chase the thoughts. And then gently draw yourself back. If you need to finish up at 60 minutes, you're going to start to begin to bring yourself into a fetal position, nice and slow. Slow as you can go. Try not to really cognitively wake up yet. Take a little moment just to enjoy the presence of right here, right now. And slowly draw yourself to a seated position and bring your hands to prayer at heart space. Take a moment to really acknowledge your own inner wisdom. So send yourself a little love, peace, and gratitude. And then from this center point, from our spirit point, our soul, whatever helps you connect to this space, our inner bliss, send it out as if touching our hands to our center chest and acknowledging our own inner bliss. Then sending it out makes it a little stronger, makes it grow a little brighter, sharing our inner selves with the inner selves of others. Maybe you have someone in particular that you wish to send it out to, or maybe just imagine sending it out to our community in general. Kindness, compassion, understanding. If it helps, you can repeat the words, the light in me sees and honors the light in you. May we all know a whole lot of kindness and compassion throughout our day. Thanks for joining us.